Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Works Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matt, aka Where's My Waffles? I'm joined here by my co-host, Tom,
What's up, guys?
Adam,
Hi.
Tristan,
Hello.
Phil.
Hey.
I don't know why that made me.
You ever have one of those moments where it's like it's your turn to speak, and then in that moment your brain forgets how to speak? Yep, that's what happened to me.
You ever have one of those moments where like something comes out of your mouth and then you instantly want to take it back?
Yup.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was
Why-
stupid.
why-
Just saying, hey, why do I even speak?
Me on every deleted VOD. All right. How's everyone doing today? How's the day? Even though we're probably not doing much out here in quarantine.
I mean, the day we're recording this is MLK Day, so
Happy
you know,
MLK Day.
having
Happy
a good
MLK Day.
had a pretty good day off from work, and also it was nice to on social media seeing a lot of people paying respect and honoring MLK for everything that he did for social justice. It was really nice to see. Really, kind of a good reminder of what this day really means, especially amid everything that's going on right now in society. It's good to see that this day is respected and everybody still gives it the respect it deserves.
Absolutely, Tom. I think
100%.
Preach.
You hit the nail right on the head with that one.
Hit the head
I had
right
to
on
work.
the nail.
It works.
Hit the head.
Rib.
Yeah.
Rib.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
Tristan worked part of the day, but
Yeah.
All right.
Wasn't too bad. Have a half day, so.
What about you? What did you do today? Other than, do car shit.
Yeah, dropped off my car, got some
8 a.m.
groceries. Yeah, 8 a.m. Ooh, dreaded so early. Got groceries, watched some more shit on Netflix, just hung out. It was a pretty light day today.
Wow, good segue. Speaking of Netflix.
first of all, it's on Disney Plus.
Our first topic is Disney Plus.
My bad. Streaming services.
Gotta
We'll
go
get, to,
Speaking of streaming,
we'll get to Netflix in a minute, boys. First, let's talk about WandaVision. What's going on? Let's have the fresh thoughts come out first. So Tristan,
Wait,
Tom,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we watched it. We watched the first 2 episodes today when Tristan got home. I liked it. I think it's a really cool idea. I think that the at first I was like, it took me a minute to catch on to what they were trying to do with the whole like classic sitcom thing. But once I understood what they were going for and like how they really stuck to it and like really went for it in that way, I thought it was super cool and I really enjoyed it. I think so far it's hilarious. And the second episode, the ending of the second episode, spoiler alert by the way, really like that whole thing. Tristan and I both kind of at the end of it, we just like looked at each other and we were like, "What is going on?" Like it was really confusing, and I think that was a cool aspect too. Is like how she was kind of like no, and then reverse time and did all that so that it kind of like didn't interrupt their little small world they've created together that they're trying to make home and stuff like that. I thought it was super cool though.
I definitely liked it. It was very entertaining. As someone who knows very minimal about film and all that fun stuff, just from an outsider watching it, it was really good. I definitely ended the second episode being like, we have another one, right? So that's always a good thing when they get that across.
you have 7 more. It felt like those childhood days of turning on Nick at Night and watching it.
Yo, you
watching
watched
the George
Golden
Lopez
Girls?
show.
Like what? I didn't.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't.
It
I don't know
would be-
about you, but I didn't watch any fucking black and white cartoons
Yo,
when I was black and white fucking sitcoms when I was a kid, bro.
Me waking up at
Didn't
4
Nick
a.m.
at
seeing
Night
George
have
Lopez
like
on.
George Lopez?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it had
George
George
Lopez.
Lopez.
No, I mean,
Lopez,
like, don't
definitely.
get me wrong. Like, George Lopez and Fresh Prince on Nick at Night was like my shit. But
For
like,
sure.
I feel like they were definitely going for more of like a really classic, like, you know, like the Golden Girls type. Or no, not even the Golden Girls. What am I saying?
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was. That's the one I was looking for. I don't know why Golden Girls was in my mind, but I Love Lucy. I think that they were definitely going for that more classic like style like that, which was I thought was really cool. Because
And
they could have
even
just
the-
done a regular sitcom,
Definitely.
you know.
More,
But-
yeah, they could have gone with a more modern sitcom style, which, you know, that doesn't mean in later episodes they may do that. Because I was talking about this like with Adam and Matt after we saw for the first time. The first episode felt very like 50s, but the second episode almost felt a little 60s, and even the second episode had a different like fake intro for their fake sitcom thing. So I feel like, you know, this week is probably going to be 70s, and we may get an 80s and a 90s, and then maybe once it hits the modern day sitcom, that's when the whole real story behind WandaVision, what's really going on, starts to happen, and maybe Wanda breaks out of this whole faux sitcom world that she's been placed in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a really cool thing. I think that you're right. I think that could definitely be where they're going with it. But definitely excited to see where they take it, because there's endless possibilities of where they could go with it.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Came the Brady Bunch. Bum, bum.
If they do a Brady Bunch themed episode, that'd be lit.
Yeah,
Yo,
I'm
how did
down.
Vision?
That would be
impregnate
so cool
Vision
if they did that.
How did Vision impregnate Vision? How did Vision impregnate Wanda so fast?
Dude,
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah,
That
He's
that
just
kind of
that
threw me off
fast.
too. That kind of threw
He's
me
just
off
that
too.
fast.
She's
I
like,
mean,
she's
I
like,
don't know.
she's like, oh my God, Vision, and the bitch is like 4 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Like what?
How are they gonna like tell their neighbors? Like,
It's
how are
all
they
for the
gonna
children.
explain that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had no clue what was going on with the for the children thing. For, like,
It
the
felt like a
longest
cult.
time.
It definitely
It
felt
did.
very cultish
But then-
when
Well,
they kept
I-
saying that.
I feel like that is true. That definitely does give off a culty vibe, but I think that whole thing, along with the whole in the first episode when the boss almost chokes on the sausage, and the wife just keeps over and over and over like laughing and saying, "Stop it, stop it." Like, I think that they're trying to like make you kind of have that feeling, like that Matrix feeling, right? Where like something's not right and something weird's
Something's up,
going
yeah.
on, and like
Well, just
they're
like
not
when-
in a real world type thing.
Mm.
Just like when Wanda was at the when she was all with the girls at the luncheon and the radio started acting up, it definitely felt that weird Matrix vibe. When she was talking to that one girl and she was like, what's happening? What's happening? And then the glass broke. I definitely got that feeling then too. So I feel like that's going to occur more throughout the episodes
sure.
and stuff.
It'll just keep building until it hits like a climax, and then maybe, like I said earlier, like the real world will bridge into like Wanda's sitcom world, just because
Terabithia.
like going back and yeah, Wanda's bridge to Terabithia. Just going back and watching the like trailers that they put out, the first two, and just looking at the shots that they have in those trailers, it kind of looks like that might be the situation.
Yeah.
Especially how everything went from black to white to color. I could see how they're also doing that.
See, so like the only thing that I saw from it, so like I didn't watch any of the trailers. The only thing that I saw from it is that one like commercial where the neighbor is like in the car and she's like, "Oh, are you one of the Avengers? Are you here to save us?" Like that was the only thing that I saw.
Okay.
Was like that one little scene that they had where then she just starts like laughing like a witch when she's dressed like a witch on, I'm assuming, what is supposed to be Halloween.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I saw was that scene where like the woman's like, "Oh, you're here to save us," and then starts laughing like maniacally. And so I really had no idea. I had no clue really that they were gonna do the whole sitcom thing. You know what I mean? Like I did not know that. Once the intro started and they had the whole WandaVision like theme song and stuff going, it caught on very quick. That's what they were going for, like a sitcom sort of thing. But I had no idea that was, so that was really interesting to me because I had no idea really at all that was what was coming. But
Overall, I liked it a lot for watching the first 2 episodes, and I am very excited to see where they take it.
Yeah. I'm really excited for when the next episode comes out. Once I finished, I was just like, oh, I just want to binge this shit, man.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
I don't want to sit here, wait every week. Because, like, I was fine with The Mandalorian. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool to, like, wait. But I was still kind of like, oh, I don't want to wait. But, like, this show kind of just feels like I need to keep going.
Do you think that's because it's in the MCU and you're so used to seeing Marvel in the format of a film?
Yeah, I think that's 100%.
Probably.
Because,
see, for me, no, go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
well, it's only because I think I've been, like, kind of conditioned to, like, a Star Wars show style because when I was really young, I watched the Clone Wars and stuff like that. So once The Mandalorian came, I was just like, okay, I'm fine with waiting a whole week, stuff like that, because, you know, whatever. But now, like, Marvel's here, and they've never done a show, like, live action, or they've never done anything that kind of, like, really ties into the MCU like that. I'm just kind of more invested and just really want to get to the point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But I think the reason for me why it felt so bingeable is because, for one, it was like a lot of fun to watch. You know what I mean? It was a lot of. It was like just like it was funny and it was just really entertaining the whole way through. But I think even more than that, it was 25-minute episodes.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of rough to sit there and binge our episodes. Like, we've done it with Stranger Things, right? When the first season dropped, we binged it. When the second season dropped, we binged it. And it's kind of tough to, like, sit there and basically take up your entire day, like, binging, watching the same characters go through this story arc. But I think how they went with the sitcom style, where, like, you know, each show has its own arc while there's also an overarching arc going, you know, like an arc going on throughout. I think that makes it very, like, you want more, and it makes it very bingeable because it's so easy to sit down and watch 9 episodes and only take 3 hours to watch 9 episodes as opposed to 9 hours to watch 9 episodes. You know what I mean? I think that also plays into it. At least for me, that's the way that I felt. It's like the episodes were so short, it made me say, like, oh, like, I could totally watch, like, way more of this and not get tired of it. You know what I mean?
100%.
How are you feeling about it, Adam?
Oh, it makes me feel all giddy inside. No, I don't know. I really love the show, and it's I love the black and whiteness that they had for the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, Phil's upset it's gone now.
Yeah, Phil's upset that it changed to the 70s, and it's
it was
now
here.
everything in color.
It was here so for such a short time.
I'm very excited to see where it goes, and I want 2 more episodes to come out next week, not just 1.
Yeah,
that's definitely good. I think what Tom was saying about how the fact that they're only like 25-ish minute episodes was really convenient, and it felt really good to have 2 in one burst, right? But that might make it feel like it's going to drag on a little bit more because now we have to wait a week for only 25-ish minute episodes.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a tease. Like, it's like a tease,
Yeah.
the 25 minutes, because you do get so invested in it, and then in a blink of an eye, it's over. And then you do have to wait that whole week. So I don't know if it's going to drag. I feel like for me, I'll be excited for when it drops because it is just such little snippets. But I could see for some people it might feel like it's dragging.
I don't think it'll drag though. At least maybe like it could for people, but I don't think for me it'll drag either. I'll enjoy it every time, every little bit I get every Friday. It'll be like a little snack.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, there's so much.
Real quick before we move on to the next topic, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed their like little Easter egg commercials that they threw in there.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool. Like the whole toaster from Stark Industries.
Did you
And
catch
then
that the toaster when they turned it on made the arc reactor sound?
Oh no, I didn't even catch that.
That was
I did
something.
not even
the
catch
next,
that.
I rewatched it while I was running, and I had headphones in, and I had them cranked, and I just heard that. I was like, "Oh, sick!"
No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Easter
the
egg
whole,
within
and
an
then
Easter
the watch.
Said Hydra on it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at first
The
I was
Strucker.
like, am I supposed? I was like, I'm a big Marvel guy, as you can see, like, you know, my thing, and like, I got the poster in the back there. It's like, and I was kind of like, the name sounds familiar, but like, I'm not placing 100% what it is. Like, I'm like, oh my god, like, did they? Like, am I stupid? Like, what am I missing here? And then finally I saw that it said Hydra and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because it's like Strucker watch or something like that.
Yeah.
And Baron Strucker is the bad guy from the very beginning of Avengers 2. The one who was experimenting on Wanda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, I misplaced him. I thought he was a different character. You're right. That was Baron Strucker.
Yeah, I knew the name sounded familiar, but it kind of like went over my head, and then I saw Hydra, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's what you're supposed to really notice about it, is like the Hydra's logo and that it says Hydra on it. Oh my god, there he goes again. Dude, at this point, you have to leave this in the video and the podcast.
Am I like
maybe not the
losing
record,
connection?
maybe not just the audio version, but the video version? You have to leave these in now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. That's really weird. If it happens again, I'll just turn off my camera or something.
I mean, you know, obviously WandaVision's on Disney Plus. Talking about streaming services. For one, Disney Plus, we just got access to it, so we're really looking to dive in there. I regretfully have to admit that I haven't seen the first or second season of The Mandalorian. Luckily, I've been able to stay away from like spoilers and stuff like that, so now that I have access, I'll be able to like really fully watch it. And
You are lucky. My goodness.
yeah, I mean, the only thing that I saw was like Baby Yoda's name and all that kind of stuff, but like,
Oh, that's
know
the
there's-
biggest spoiler.
And the whole
I know that
series
there's a
takes place on the fall.
I know that the biggest I know that the last episode was really big, and I was luckily able to stay away from like the spoilers from that. So
Yeah, you
I'm
definitely
We'll have
should.
to dive
watching
into
it.
that.
The last 5 minutes of the last episode were very
Yup.
big.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
definitely stay away from looking into that.
yeah. I mean, so like obviously, you know, we just got access to Disney Plus, so we're looking forward to diving into that. And obviously, we've heard about. Obviously, there's been a bunch of releases during COVID that took place on there that could have happened, that like were supposed to happen in theaters, as with other streaming services. We know about all the Marvel shows that are going to be coming to Disney Plus and all that kind of stuff. But you know, the last week, Netflix came in fucking hot with this whole, you know,
A segue.
71 fucking movies that they're releasing this year.
The segue. Oh my
71?
god.
Yeah, 70 fucking one, right? You know what, Matt? What?
I heard
Segue into the new topic. That was great. Oh
That's
my
what I'm
God.
saying, bro. I'm
It's
fucking the
time.
master, brother.
Let's go.
it's
If
time
you
for
bring
the
attention to the
segue.
segue, doesn't it take away from the segue?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah,
I
it does.
just kind of wanted to acknowledge it. It was just really good.
That's
But it
what we do
adds,
here,
it
though.
adds
That's
dramatic
what we do.
effect, though. Yeah.
Um,
We like to break the fourth wall here.
yeah.
Listener,
yeah. You
wake
know,
up.
but like,
Wake up.
But Netflix
Wake up.
came in.
Wake up. Oh my god.
Netflix came in fucking hot with saying that they're going to release 71 movies this year, which you know, not basically is going to end up being at least a movie a week. And that's a movie. That's like, those are movies, you know, those aren't fucking TV shows and series. I'm sure there's going to be some sprinkled in there, but that's movies. That's like, you know, that's crazy.
So I'm looking at this list from a Variety article listing out, and it's actually interesting. They have it devised by genre, which is very clever, I think.
Yo, a
There-
castle for Christmas?
A Castle for Christmas?
Yeah, that's in the
Is that-
romance column.
Oh, the romance. Is that in the same universe of We Bought a Zoo?
Oh boy.
That would be.
We bought a zoo sequel. Let's go.
Let's go.
Listen, We Bought a Zoo was great.
So I'm looking. This article isn't going into detail like who else might have made some of these movies, but I'm seeing some titles that are familiar, and some of these may not have been movies
Oh,
that
Sean.
were.
What?
Oh fuck.
Sean, see, this is what I see, Matt. This is what we were.
Matt, I
worried
thought
about.
you were.
I
talking
thought I
about that.
did block out BDC. What the fuck?
That's not supposed to be in here.
We're recording a
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
You're good, bro.
All right, so let's
Motherfucker,
start over.
motherfucker.
You motherfucker.
Oh my god.
I knew it was gonna happen. I
I
fucking
knew.
called it.
He
I
felt
bet
it, dude.
Spencer comes back in here too. You might want to like text
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
group
So
chat and
hold
say
on. I'm
nobody
just
come into
just
the works.
temporarily, but until I figure out how to do it. Yeah. Actually, I'll just text
For
it.
sure.
Continue.
While you're texting, I'll rack it back a few frames. So I'm looking at some of these titles for these movies, and they don't go into detail who else might have made them, but there are some titles that look familiar. So there might be some movies that Netflix like picked up from other like studios that necessarily don't have an outlet for a streaming. Like one of them on here was The Woman in the Window, and I remember seeing a trailer for that. Like Adam, I think I saw a trailer for that when we saw Birds of Prey.
Oh wow.
yeah,
you
it was
know.
definitely a while ago. I remember
Yeah.
seeing a trailer like that too.
Yeah,
This
so
is
that's
the last
definitely.
movie I saw in the theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
The
blame you.
last
I suppose-
movie Tom and I saw in the theaters was Monsters Inc. because they re-released it, so
Oh,
we
wow.
decided
Yeah.
to go and see it.
Nice. I think technically for me, it might have been when they re-released Empire Strikes Back for the anniversary. But anyway, yeah, and I'm also seeing Army of the Dead. I'm pretty sure that's a Zack Snyder joint. Like,
Not to cut you off, but really quick, I looked up The Woman in the Window, and it says The Woman in the Window is scheduled to be digitally released by Netflix in 2021. The film was originally scheduled to be released theatrically by 20th Century Studios on October 4th, 2019.
Yep.
And then it was delayed, until May 15th, and then obviously, you know, COVID, so that didn't happen. So now, yes, they did sell it to Netflix. So I actually hadn't even thought of that, so that was actually a nice catch there, Phil.
thank you. So we can deduce that if one movie is a situation like that, like there are probably a few other movies that are like that. However,
Yeah.
there are movies on there that are definitely Netflix originals, like Kissing Booth 3.
No. I was
So-
just about to talk about that. I don't want it. Please. I don't.
You didn't
I'm
like
done.
the first two?
No.
I haven't seen them, so I can't comment.
So the first one, I watched like I forget who I watched it with, and I was just like, oh god, what is this? The second one, I watched it at like 4 a.m. with like a couple of friends on Discord. Oh my god, what was that? But somehow I got invested into it, so I guess they kind of got me there. So 2 is better than 1. I'll say that. The third one, I just don't need it. I don't need it. I'm done.
The story
Bro,
was fine. They kissed, you know.
Apparently, they must be a big thing because they wouldn't keep making them if they weren't getting
Oh
views.
no. They're oh my god, people must love them because the people I was on Discord with, like my friend Linda, she was like, oh my gosh, I like this movie. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But
We
anyway,
also
anyone's
have-
entitled to like their own things, but still.
We also have a Troll Hunters movie
No.
slated on here. Was that Troll Hunters? Was that a Netflix original or is that DreamWorks? Because I've heard of that before.
I thought it was an animation,
Uh,
right?
It was a TV show on. It was a DreamWorks TV show, animation.
Okay.
What is the full
Gotcha.
title?
Troll Hunters: Rise of the Titans.
Rise of the Titans. My goodness.
Wow.
What the hell?
They're
is
bridging
Skater
the
Girl?
Clash of the Titans.
No, it's a Netflix original. It's dude. It's created by Guillermo del Toro.
No way.
Yeah,
Created
he did
by
the show
Guillermo
too, I
del
think.
Toro. Produced by DreamWorks Animation TV, and Double Dare You Productions.
Yeah, he did the show too, I believe.
That's pretty lit,
does
actually.
it-
That's
Alicia
probably
Keys have a
why
long
I've
time.
heard of it before.
Yo,
But no, it says it's
Why
a Netflix
doesn't Alicia
original.
Keys have a-
Netflix
There's a-
original.
there's a character and his name is Arg.
Adam's like, I'm in.
I'm
So,
in.
Yeah.
I want to see more
another
of the Alicia
thing.
Keys rom-com.
Oh.
Sorry.
Untitled Alicia Keys rom com. Yeah.
Untitled
Really,
Alicia
I'm really
Keys
just-
rom-com.
I'm just looking
We
at
also
that title. I'm like,
Also, this is under the section for the whole family. It's just says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm down.
Oh.
So, but it
what
is
are they
that
gonna
them,
do with that?
Is that them bringing the old like 80s 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle live action movie? Is that like some animated movie that's already been made? Is that like the newer Michael Bay produced one with Megan Fox?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like you can't
Hey.
just
Who
say
knows?
Teenage Mutant Ninja
We'll have
Turtles.
to-
It's
we'll have
like
to find
We
out.
have to wait for that.
hey man, if Netflix made a sleeper new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, I'm down. Like I'm
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah,
from-
brother.
That was not real. Never mind.
I didn't
I
even-
was gonna read off.
I
an
didn't even hear
article,
what you said.
I was gonna read off a wiki page for Teenage Mutant
Okay.
Ninja Turtles 2021, and it was.
Interesting.
I realized the wiki page said it said ideas. Let your ideas flourish, and I was like,
No
oh,
way.
that's not.
Yeah, nope.
Wait, no, yeah, it's a new movie. It's with Ryan Reynolds, Shia LaBeouf, Jim Parsons.
That's pretty lit. Bro, that's pretty lit.
Shut the fuck up.
Yo, that's a pretty lit cast.
Yo, what if they're
Unless this is-
are they the
unless-
turtles?
Wait, hold on. Unless this is just like a fan casting. Wait, it might-
Please.
Oh
It's
my
just a
goodness,
fan
you
casting.
can't get us
It
excited
was just
like
a fan.
that.
Yeah, you
Bro,
can't give me
Adam.
this is why you can't search stuff
You
on
got
the
us
internet.
so excited.
Bro, it was on
No
IMDb.
way.
It was
We
on
got a fact
IMDb.
check?
It was on IMDb. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Here, I can't show
Um,
you my screen. It's not. zoomed.
What I was gonna say was, while yes, we literally found evidence that movies were made by other studios and then sold to Netflix. The thing is, right, is that this happens a lot with shows too, right? As soon as Netflix buys it and has rights to it and has stake in it, it's technically a Netflix original.
Yeah, they can put their stuff.
It
on.
is. You know what I mean? Like, for example, perfect example, one of my favorite shows ever, fucking Trailer Park Boys, right? Gotta fucking love it. Oh, shit. Hang on.
Love
oh,
it.
fuck. Hang on. I fucked up on my computer.
Oh no.
We can still see and hear you.
No, we're good.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Look the fuck out.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my soundboard for any of you audio listeners. But sorry, totally got off track. Trailer Park Boys, one of my favorite shows ever. Started off as a Canadian TV show for the first like 6 seasons, right? The TV station either like went out of business or decided not to pick them back up. They went to Netflix and Netflix bought it. And then from season 7 on, in the opening title, in the opening, like, you know, what the fuck is it called? The opening.
Credits.
Opening title sequence.
The opening credits, yeah. It says a Netflix original, Trailer Park Boys. So that was a very well-established show before Netflix ever bought it. But because Netflix bought it and has the rights to it and you know, has some stake in it, it's 100% a Netflix original because those other seasons wouldn't get made and wouldn't get aired and shown to the public unless it was for Netflix. So I think, you know, even though that these movies are made by other studios,
Well-
Netflix is being the distributor, and that gives them the right to say that they're Netflix originals.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it's like the Clone Wars. Disney made the final season of it, and they literally slapped the Disney Plus original on the entire series. When the first 7 seasons of it were made by Cartoon Network.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
aired on Cartoon Network, not made by Cartoon Network.
Yeah. For sure. And Tom, I think the fact that you say that Netflix is taking the role of the distributor, I think that really sells your point, because how many movies have we gone and seen where it's like Warner Brothers presents, whereas like Warner Brothers is just like the bigger studio that's helping like distribute it. You know what I mean? Even though they may not have had as much of a stake in it. And also, Netflix is not the only streaming service to have done this. A big show on Amazon, The Expanse, was originally a sci-fi network show for like the first season, and Amazon picked it up second season on, and now it says Prime Original. And as recently as HBO Max, their first original movie was that Seth Rogen comedy, American Pickle. That was made by Seth Rogen's production company, and they were looking for a distributor, and HBO Max gave them the opportunity that they were looking for, and now it says HBO Max Original. So everybody does it, and they just kind of take the same stance as a distributor would. I guess it's like the chosen language might confuse people, but it's not like they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they bought the rights to it. They own the. Oh shit! All right, we're going back to first class. Wait, was that what his name? Was that his name?
I'm gonna have to bleep that out though.
Yeah,
can we put this man?
Oh, we're going back to that. We're going back to that copyright. All right, wait. Here. Let me do it. Let me do it. We're going back to that copyright class in college. They own the what's the word I'm looking for?
Majority stake.
No.
Then I don't know what word you're thinking.
Adam, help me out here.
Phil wasn't paying attention that day.
Nope, I was probably on my laptop.
It's like something property, intellectual property.
Oh,
they own the intellectual property of it now, right? So they own the IP of it now, the intellectual property. So it's totally theirs to do what they want with it. Once that's how that's what happens with a lot of movies. It's
Definitely.
not a new thing. Again, really quick before we move on to the next topic, I did just want to point out that on all the way down, if you scroll all the way down the list, there's only 2 musicals that Netflix is releasing this year, and Tick Tick Boom is going to be, it's written and directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's going to be his directorial debut. I'm pretty excited to see that. Yep. So that should be pretty interesting to keep an eye out for when that comes out.
Well, that's interesting to hear Lin doing a directorial debut, because that kind of brings us to segue number 2.
Oh, breaking the fourth wall again.
Oh man.
Wow,
Netflix.
They brought attention to it.
Yup, we brought attention to it. Netflix ain't the only cat on these streets trying to drop mad movies this year, cause this town ain't big enough for the two of us no more, cause we got a whole new desperado rolling called HBO Max, rolling 17 films throughout the entire span of 2021 on HBO Max and in movie theaters, same goddamn day.
17?
And just to complete the segue, In the Heights is a movie written and produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Based on Broadway musical that he consumed.
Well,
yes.
Not busy this year.
But I thought that was really interesting. And I know we talked about this the other day, but I'm going to bring it up again, obviously. I think that's really interesting and cool to see that, like, I'm sure it's going to be within months of each other. He's going to have 2 movies come out that he had really, really key roles in. Obviously writer-producer is a huge role, but writer-director is a an even bigger role. So I think it's really awesome that he's able to do that. And that, these streaming services really gave him the opportunity to be able to do that. But yeah, man, I mean, HBO Max, they got some fucking heaters coming out too.
Not nearly as many films as Netflix, but still, like, they got some heat.
Dude, sometimes it's the quality, not the quantity. You know what I'm saying?
Is the Suicide Squad, is that James Gunn?
Yes.
Okay. That's
I
not
guess
the
you
that's
can
not the original Suicide Squad, right? Okay, good.
No.
No.
That one should already be on HBO Max, but I think that one is just called Suicide Squad. I think you can refer to that as like Suicide Squad 2016.
Gotcha.
And then James Gunn, you could just say The Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad 2021. Now,
Gotcha. Matrix 4?
Dude, I mean, they're coming out with some heat, bro. Just to hit you with a couple, right? We got Matrix 4.
Ooh, I'm excited for that.
We got In the Heights, we already talked about. We got The Many Saints in Newark, which is a Sopranos prequel.
Never seen
With
You
James...
know how much I love The Sopranos, bro. I'm excited for that one.
And James Gandolfini's son is playing young Tony Soprano.
Yep, that's gonna be super cool. You got a Godzilla vs Kong movie coming out from the video game adaptation. You know,
Gotta love the Godzillas.
You got Mortal Kombat, another video game adaptation. You got a new Conjuring movie.
Oh yes.
You got a new, and this one, you know, I don't know about this one. This one's kind of, you know, starting to impede on some childhood a little bit. They're coming out with a new Space Jam.
Oh, I'm ready.
Called The New Legacy, starring none other than, you know, who else other than LeBron James. Makes the most sense. He's basically, well, he's not basically, he is at the same point in his career and at the same magnitude of what Michael Jordan was. So it makes a lot of sense that they have him in it.
They've been making that movie for a while.
They have been. They announced that shit so long ago, didn't they?
Yup.
There was one more. Oh, the Suicide Squad, which we literally just talked about, was the other one that I was going to say.
Not listed in this Variety article, but it is also common knowledge that in early to mid 2021, Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League will also be streaming to HBO Max.
I mean, listen. Like, again, you see the Marvel stuff. I'm not a big DC guy, but if all the buzz about this movie... I know. Phil's a big both guy. He's a big comic book guy in general.
Yeah.
But if all the talks about this whole Snyder's Cut thing really pans out and ends up being all this kind of stuff, like, I'll watch it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to lie, it's the Snyder Cut of what? Justice League, right?
Justice League, yeah. The version that Zack Snyder always intended to put out, but never got the chance to.
Yeah, because the studio like did him dirty, kind of, right? But we won't get into that too much. Because I do have to say that, you know, I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw enough of Justice League to know that it was poo-poo water. You know what I mean? I watched like maybe a half an hour of it, and I was like, all right, this is enough. I'm done. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna watch something else now. Well, I mean, it's just because it just wasn't. It was really, really cheesy. It really was, and it was just really not. Especially because, and I haven't really watched any of the newer DC movies. Like, so I haven't watched Batman v Superman, but I know that like he did that one as well, right?
Yes.
And that was like a much more, he had created a much more like dark, bleak world in that one. And then in this one, they totally threw it out the window and it didn't really match up together at all. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really seem to match up that well at all. But I mean, who knows? I mean, I'll definitely check them out. I'll have to do a little binging of DC movies to get up to date. But I'm definitely down for that.
When that movie drops, I'm doing nothing. Catch me doing nothing but watching that shit.
I just, Phil,
What's
if
up?
It's shit?
I will be upset. I'm not gonna lie. If it doesn't live up to the hype, I will be sad. I will be proud and still like have so much respect for Zack Snyder and, you know, just Warner Media and DC Films for going out and making it, listening to the fans and just making it. I'll still have the respect. But I would be upset if it's not good. I'm hoping that it's not. I'd like to think it's going to be dope. But again, like I usually like to think that movies are going to be dope. You know, I'm not one of those people where I see a trailer for a movie, I'm like, "Oh, I hope that's shit." You know, it's just not me.
Yeah. Tristan, what do you think? Would you watch the Snyder Cut?
I mean, I am not a big DC / DC person. I grew up watching Marvel, but for me, like, I would love to just watch it. There's nothing really to do right now because of COVID shut everything down, so it's not gonna hurt us to watch it.
So you're taking the stance that it's like you're just happy to get content. You're happy to see something new.
Yes. I am sick and tired of rewatching the same stuff that I have been. So for me, everything dropping this year is very exciting because, like I said, you can only watch the same series over and over again until you're tired of it.
Definitely. I agree. Now, something I want to ask you guys is because a big component to HBO Max is the fact that these movies are releasing in theaters and on streaming the same day. Are you guys more willing to go see it in the theater if you have the opportunity to see it in the theater? Or are you just, kicking your feet up and sitting on the couch and watching?
We got another
This is
well-executed segue
I was
here,
just going to
folks.
say, I didn't want to bring it up, but it was probably the best one of the night.
Woo, that was a good one.
This is a hard
That was a
question.
regular Walter Cronkite.
It is.
I feel like, I know a lot of you have AMC stubbed list or any other.
Had AMC A-list.
Well,
it's not really a thing.
we stopped it. We paused it when COVID was in its height and they closed all of the movie theaters down. They gave us that time where we could freeze our account. Well, when the movie theaters started opening up again, we unfroze ours because we were like, oh, it would be nice to start going again. We went once. We were the only ones in the movies, which was really nice, but we haven't gone back since because COVID is still very relevant and very real, and I feel like it's just a situation that it's silly to put ourselves in, especially because we can sit at home, not have to risk getting exposed, and can see the same movies. So we're coming up to this decision where we are probably going to cancel our lovely thing that we've been doing. I mean,
fucking
we're
news to
just
me.
like news to
Tom's
me.
like,
Okay, but
That's news to me.
why spend the money a month if we don't go?
Exactly. I mean, it's tough though because as we've all four of us here, and Tristan's been exposed to it enough. The four of us here went to school for film. We're trying to work in the industry, all that kind of stuff. And Tristan's been exposed to it enough, and growing up, she obviously went to movies. So going to the movies has always been, something near and dear to, my heart, and I'm sure it's been near and dear to all of your hearts. Going to see something on the big screen has always, even when I had A-list and I was able to go see a movie a day, 3 movies a week. Every time we would go, it was always so fun and like an event to go sit in the theater and watch it. And, with the whole, with the sound systems now that like make your fucking seat shake and stuff. It's kind of sad to really be saying, like, I don't know when I'll go back to the theater next. And it's tough because even before the pandemic, we had talked about in film school, we had many discussions in multiple classes about the effect that streaming services were having on the industry. Not that it was a bad thing, but just that like less and less people were going to the movies because they could just stay home and watch, the same sort of content on streaming services. Well, now it's becoming, for your own safety, you have to stay home and watch them on a streaming service. Some of them aren't even getting released in theaters because it's not worth it to them because they're not going to make barely any revenue having to distribute it to theaters and stuff like that. It costs more money than they'll make. Perfect example. I'm not going to call it a ma and pa owned movie theater because it was a big ass movie theater near where my parents live. but it was like one of those one-offs. You know what I mean? It was called Escape, and it was
Not
one of those
necessarily
one-offs.
a chain.
Yeah, it wasn't like an AMC or even a Bowtie or whatever, the one that's very prominent on the West Coast.
ArcLight.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't a big chain like that. It was like a one-off. And due to COVID, they had to shut their doors. They're closed now. There's a giant, big-ass, like 15 or 16 theater movie theater that's abandoned and empty and not being used. And that's sad but that's where it's heading. I feel, you know what I mean?
I definitely feel like it was heading there before, like you were saying, because let's say you have a family of 4. What's the point of going to the movies, spending $12 a ticket when you could spend $12 a month to stream, and you could all invite your friends and watch it for $12 a month instead of spending an outrageous amount on a ticket and popcorn that's $15 and for everyone.
You're racking up a couple hundred.
You're racking up.
Point.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. And then now you have streaming services coming out for super cheap. I mean, I got Hulu free through my phone plan. You know, I mean, they're just giving you streaming services everywhere you turn. So then it is, and then you add in the safety factor, and I do see a lot of movie theaters, sadly, coming to an end soon. I mean, they were already struggling before, so now it's like, now you have a pandemic that a lot of places have to close their doors, or they're limiting amount of people to begin with. It's just, I don't see it lasting for much longer, sadly.
I see it lasting for the future. I don't see people going back until they think it's safe. But I also don't see, like, there will be some people that'll just not go back. They'll watch their movies on Netflix and Disney Plus and HBO Max, which, I mean, that's up to them. If they wanna watch on their TV, go ahead.
And you're right. That's totally up to people's choice. I don't remember at what point in the pandemic they did this poll. It was probably like in the middle of it. They did a poll of like, would you go back to a movie theater right now? Would you wait a couple weeks? Would you wait a couple months? Are you never going to go back to a movie theater? And a majority of people said that they would wait a couple weeks, I think. You know, there was still like a good sliver that said like, I'm going to go right now. But a big chunk of people said, yes, they would go back, but they want to wait until it's definitely safe. I don't know what the answers would be if you made that poll right now, because obviously we're in a different place. But, you know, with the vaccine getting rolled out, we hypothetically will be in a different place come July, August, you know? So I
would hope.
We can hope.
You know?
And, you know, we would like to stay positive. You know, I think that's it's healthy for the mind to try to see a positive outlook. But right now, it's not looking great, you know, because you have theaters are struggling because there's not a whole lot open, and it's not the safest destination to go. And also movie companies and production companies aren't really putting movies in the theaters because they know they're not making money. So it's like there's really nothing to go see anyway. I remember Tenet came out in the summertime or like early fall, and 3 months after its initial release, Tenet was still in the movie theater, and that was still like the only thing to go see, you know? So it's like, I already saw Tenet. It's like, I like the movie, but I don't need to go see it like a third or fourth time in the movie theater. I already paid, you know, my time to go see it.
Well, that's why I went to go see Monsters, Inc. There was nothing out, but we wanted to get the movie experience because we missed it.
And because we had paid $25 to get the subscription back.
Yeah.
We needed to use that shit.
But that, you know, that fulfilled you for like 1 month. But like you said, like there was nothing out. So I think right now it's kind of rough. Listen, if I was in an area of the country that had movie theaters opened, and if I would like, you know, I would catch the matinee of that shit. I would catch like first showing of the day when like nobody is in there, so I'm more likely to be the only person in there. I would do it. Sadly, I'm in an area where movie theaters are closed, so I have no choice but to do the HBO Max viewing. Me personally, like Tom said, the movie theater experience is very near and dear to my heart. That's why I fell in love with movies in the first place. Part of it was seeing it in a theater when I was a kid. So I personally would like to return to movie theaters at some point, and I hope that they will be safe. But who's to say? It's all, we're gonna have to see how it goes. The studios are really going to determine if it financially makes sense for them to do that.
Yeah.
And also people are going to determine, if nobody goes to see the movie in the theater because nobody wants to go to a theater, that'll make the decision for everybody,
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, a lot of people probably are, having this same thought is like, why ever go back to the theater? Because it seems like every other day I hear about a new fucking streaming service that's coming out. Right.
No
In
way.
case you're wondering, this is another transition.
Yeah, in case you're wondering, this is another segue. But yeah, it's like, but for real, I'm sure that a lot of people are asking themselves that because obviously there was Netflix has been around for a while, Prime Video has been around for a while, Hulu's been around for a while. Disney Plus came in fucking hot right at the right, like literally what seemed like at a perfect time. Like maybe Disney has some kind of juju going on where they knew some shit was coming because they released their service, their streaming service right in the nick of time, right? Then you have
a couple months early.
But I'm saying right in the nick of time, like they did it a couple months before the pandemic hit.
They cemented their subscribers right before it,
Right.
Foresight.
Then you got HBO Max, who came out during the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, and they did not have a great first release, window. They were struggling for a while.
They didn't have a Mandalorian.
I mean, also
They
when
didn't
charged
have
so
a
much money
Mandalorian.
for it, and they had nothing new.
Yeah. Granted, like it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No,
Adam.
I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Okay. Skip over then.
What were you gonna say, Matt? You were saying they were charging so much for it, but they didn't have anything
Yeah,
new.
because like how much was it again? I forget, but I knew it was like a really big
$14.99,
Yeah,
$15.
for nothing new too. I'm not gonna pay that much to just watch something I've already watched. The hell, I'll go grab a DVD out of the closet or something.
I think that for me, because like, well, we have HBO because we really have HBO through my parents because they have an HBO subscription through cable. So when you have that, they give you a free HBO Max subscription, right? So we have that. And the biggest draw to me of why I would ever really want to watch stuff on there, besides now the new movies that they announced, is they're the only place that got the cartoons, that got the Sunday cartoons. Really, you know what I'm saying?
But they
like
didn't have a lot of them at first.
But now
It
they
took a while to
do.
add-
But
yeah,
now they
they're starting
do.
to add 'em.
Right? So like they had Scooby Doo, which for one, that's enough for me right there.
Yeah, that's
Scooby Doo's
enough,
my
yeah.
shit, right? God damn it, Matt.
Damn it.
God
Right when we're
fucking
talking about
damn it,
Scooby
Matt.
fucking Doo, you leave.
God fucking
He
damn it.
disappeared.
Okay. So Scooby Doo was enough for you.
There he is.
Yes. So they had Scooby Doo.
So they had Scooby Doo. That was enough for me, right? Scooby Doo's my shit. Like I'm cool with that.
Definitely enough.
Right, but now they got Scooby Doo, they got Teen Titans, right? They got fucking what else?
They recently added January 1st, Codename Kids Next Door, Courage the
Dude.
Cowardly Dog, Ed, Ed and Eddie, and there was like a fourth one that was like in that same world of Golden Age. I forget it. I apologize, but
Right, so I think that, I mean, while it's not really that much, I think that between the new movies that are announced and the whole having the old school cartoons thing, well, what we call old school cartoons, right?
Right.
It is like really what they're gonna be known for.
DC content as well because there was a streaming service hybrid thing, DC Universe, which was their hybrid for television and movie content and also reading comics digitally, but now anything that's TV show or movie related is just getting put on HBO Max, and now that service is just for reading comics. So anybody who's obviously looking for DC content, and over the decades there is a plethora of live action and animated content for people to watch, so they could also be known for that.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk
Yeah,
about how
totally.
HBO literally like single-handedly killed the DC app real quick?
Yeah.
Well, they wanted all their stuff in one place.
Yeah, I understand
They were a
that.
little-
But like now it's just full of a bunch of like people who want to read comics, and that's already not the hugest
But it's-
demographic.
it's the same thing as Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah. Or it could be
I
a
think
huge
what Matt's trying to
demographic.
say is
I
it a
could
little
be,
bit.
I could be
Yeah.
comic disc.
It is more niche. Yeah. A comicist? Is
yeah,
that what
a
you
comicist or some. I don't know.
said? Comicist.
I'm sorry to comic book readers that I offended.
The comic
but right-
book reading community is now up in arms.
Right, so you had the big, but just to kind of get back on track a little bit here, you had the big three, being Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. Then Disney Plus comes out. Then literally during the pandemic, HBO Max comes out. Then literally again during the pandemic, Peacock comes out. Which, I mean, the only thing that Peacock has is The
my
Office,
gosh.
let's be honest. Right?
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's really all I care about anyway. That so
And they didn't even start out with The Office either.
yeah, they didn't because Netflix still had the contract. But now that it ended, now they're the only service that has it. And that's literally, I don't know about you guys, but that's literally the only Peacock commercial I've seen is when they're saying like, we have The Office, and it's like
Yeah.
a bunch of moments from The Office, and like that's the only commercial I've seen for Peacock.
Well, that's all they have. That's it.
What else? Do they
Well,
have?
And
I
then
got-
the newest one that just came out was
That's literally made for Tristan.
There's a new one?
Yeah.
yeah.
Discovery
Good,
Plus.
Tom. Discovery Plus. It has all my favorite shows, which I'm a little annoyed. I logged onto my TLC app today, and it wouldn't let me watch anything because I need to subscribe now.
Oh, did that come out now? Discovery Plus came. I thought it didn't come out yet. It
Discovery
came out now.
Plus is out, and it's hot because again,
Is it
I
hot?
could not watch my show, so I guess I have to subscribe. But it has TLC, and then a bunch of like HGTV, a bunch of all the other fun mom shows, as some might call it.
They got.
so that's
here, I'm
definitely
gonna,
new.
I'm gonna spout them off for you.
Go
They
ahead.
got Discovery, obviously.
Yes.
They got HGTV, Food Network, TLC, ID, Animal Planet, and some other one that I'm not recognizing the symbol, the logo of.
Yo.
Oh, wait,
the
wait,
fact-
there's more than that. Wow, holy shit, there's more than that. ID, they're going to have Discovery Plus originals. They got Lifetime on there. They got History on there. They got Travel Channel on there. They got Science Network on there. They got DIY Network on there. They got Oprah Winfrey Network on there.
I never
They
even
got
knew that
the
was a thing.
Dodo Network on there and more,
Yo.
it says. So, like, that's
So,
a
hold on.
big-ass streaming
So-
service.
So essentially what you're telling me is they made a streaming service for
They need
cable.
cable.
yeah.
much.
Yeah,
no,
that's
but-
Yeah,
cable.
Literally.
No, but that's the thing, right? So, but again,
and way
so
cheaper
like,
than cable.
again, so like this, on top of us talking about the death of,
Movie
talking
theaters.
about the death of like movie theaters and stuff, this is gonna be the death of cable. Like with this kind of
Yes.
shit and Peacock and stuff, like this is gonna be which the death of cable has been coming and has been like happening way
Slower.
longer than the death of movie theaters have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like with shit like this, it's a literally basically cable. It's for those people out there who don't want to pay $100+ cable bill a month, but
Well, why
still
would you?
want all the channels that used to be only cable.
Discovery Plus it's only $4.99 a month, and you heard all of those channels that you get.
That's a
So
lot of
then
fucking
why-
content for $5.
So then why would you keep cable? I mean, you just named off all of the channels that I watch all of my main shows on. So for me, I'd be like, okay, buy cable. I could just download this onto my smart TV and pay $5 a month.
Matt's already taken out the $5 bill right there. He's like,
Let's
take
go.
my money. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean at that point, what does cable have? Okay, yes, there is one thing that cable has is
Scummy
live
price.
sports.
No.
But even
Hulu
Hulu
has
has
live
live sports.
It's a
Hulu has
lifestyle.
live sports.
Hulu has live
Yes.
sports. But like
Hulu
that's
with
the-
live sports is expensive. That's like
Yeah,
their most
true.
expensive subscription you can get. But still, at that point, it's like, what is?
But how much is a sports package on your cable?
a lot.
They're
about-
expensive too.
What about ESPN bundled with Disney Plus?
But no, but the thing is, so here's the thing with that, Adam, right?
I've never.
Is that they
opened
cuck
ESPN
you.
Plus.
They cuck you, right? Because
Oh.
there's really not that many live sporting events shown on ESPN Plus. I mean ESPN. Yes, they have a lot of basketball games. They have some baseball games. They have some football games, but a lot of it is college and Sports Center, right? Like a lot
so
of
if you
live
had that
sporting
and
events.
Hulu, you'd be good.
A lot of live sporting events are still shown on like CBS, NBC, Fox, even ABC, and fucking Nickelodeon, right? Like
Yes, Nickelodeon now.
there was a playoff game that they aired on Nickelodeon. So that would be the only reason why I would keep cable. And we talked about this too. Is for live sports, because I am a very avid sports watcher. I watch a lot of sports. And cable is still right now the best place to get that from.
But didn't
Sorry.
they have a football game, like a live football game on Amazon Prime?
Yeah,
They
They
did.
do that. Yeah, I think
They
like
had a
Monday
live
Night
football game. I'm pretty sure they had a
Monday night-
live. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just adding to that. I think it's on Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football. Amazon Prime shows the games a lot.
Amazon Prime showed like one or two Thursday night games. They also showed a game on Twitch at one point, I'm pretty sure, because Amazon owns Twitch. So they also broadcasted it on Twitch.
Shameless plug.
Shameless
Matt.
plug. But you know, with this shit coming out, maybe I'll get a Hulu has live sports subscription and fucking save money on cable. Just pay for Wi-Fi. You know.
Yeah, I just want to backpedal real quick to the Nickelodeon thing where they had the live sport there. I'm just imagining like on like a football field, they instead of dumping Gatorade on the coach, it's just slime.
They did. They
They
slimed
did. They
him.
literally
They
did.
Oh
slimed
my
him.
God.
Wait,
Yes.
was SpongeBob was SpongeBob the
That's
halftime show?
perfect.
And they were adding doodles along
Yeah.
while people
They-
players were playing and stuff. Yeah.
So like, all right, so let's run it down real quick. So I didn't watch the game on Nickelodeon. I only watched glimpses just because I was curious. But whenever they scored a touchdown, they had an overlay of slime cannons that launched all over the end zone. Then whenever there was a field goal kicked, they had an overlay of SpongeBob in between the posts. They're like first down graphics and stuff, overlays on the field of like, you know, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 2, whatever, were all like Nickelodeon style stuff.
I love it.
It was funny though because when one of the refs was like making the call on what a penalty was, you heard one of the players go, "Man, what the fuck?" on fucking
And it was
Nickelodeon.
live on Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon's going more edgy with live
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
But
We entered
then-
the adult realm.
So it was the Saints versus who? I forget who they played. The Saints played somebody, and at the end of the game, the Saints won. And then at the end of the game, they did an interview with the coach, Sean Payton, and they dumped a bucket of slime on him.
Love it.
So like,
Reminds me of the
See, that I'm
golden
okay
days.
for. At least they're doing creative stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. They're changing
But-
it up.
But I mean, yeah.
I feel like in our day and age now, where we are, especially in the world with the pandemic. There's a lot of question marks moving forward, especially what everyone's going to do pertaining to streaming services and movie theaters and cable. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens 5 years from now. Is cable even going to be
It's going
to
to be really interesting to see what happens 6 months from now.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I
For
overshot
real.
a little bit.
No, for
5
real though.
years.
Like
Yeah,
6 months
for
from
real.
now, things in the as far as TV and movies go could be very different. Especially if HBO Max has a bunch of success with the whole same day release thing. That could open a lot of people's eyes and a lot of doors to like that shit happening more. And not in theaters the same day, just HBO Max, just Disney Plus, just Netflix. Well, Netflix already does that, you know what I mean? But like that could become a trend of like, you know.
Well,
I
I
agree.
think 6 months from now on our next podcast,
Our next podcast,
then,
6
Yeah.
months from now. Set a
Okay,
Whoa,
yes,
whoa.
our next
On a future episode,
on
we
our
will re-come to
future
this topic.
episode, yes, and we will touch back and see
Yep.
where we are.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
We'll make another obvious callback to the first episode,
Yeah.
like we do with our obvious transitions.
Yeah,
A tip of the
we're
hat.
not that slick.
Yep.
On last
Or
episode
do we need to
of the
be?
works.
On a previous episode. On a previous episode.
Yup. Make a little like
well,
dramatic.
episode.
We talked about a lot of great stuff today.
We did.
Matt, you want to hit us with that outro, baby?
All right. Listen, we covered some great topics. I don't think I really explained what this podcast was really, so I will kind of briefly touch that in the back end, even though, you know, it's kind of a little too late. You got the gist. Obviously, right to this week, it was a lot more TV streaming, stuff like that, but we will be talking about literally anything we want. Like
Whatever
anything.
the fuck we want.
Whatever the fuck we want. So,
That's
yeah.
why it's called the
The
works.
Works.
Exactly. Exactly.
The works.
So
You get a little bit of everything on
a
there.
little bit of everything. All right. So anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in to the works. Does anyone want to say anything to close out? Or
Thanks for tuning in to episode 1.
All right. Yeah.
More
Thank
to come.
you for tuning in.
Thanks
to
for
episode
coming. Glad to have you guys here. Excited
Motherfucker, you
for
just cut
more
me off.
episodes. I did.
right,
That's
cool.
what we do.
Cool.
That's how we run
That's
things
how we
over
roll.
here.
That's how we roll. All right.
That's how we roll.
Again, thank you guys so much for watching episode 1. We will catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you. Goodbye.